What's up, everybody? Josh Fosgreen here with another exciting update about life on the cruise ship. So, I have about 2 months left before I go home. Actually, 2 months from tomorrow, my contract is over. I'm very excited about that. I really miss California. I miss the music I play there, and the students I teach there, and the friends I have, and the fruit I eat. And man, I'm going to be glad to get back to that. However, that's not to say that I'm not enjoying my time here, because working on a cruise ship has been an incredible experience in so many ways. Primarily, and this isn't even necessarily musical in nature, but it's just been such a rite of passage for me into adulthood. We don't really have a rite of passage into adulthood in our Western culture. Which is not a unique observation I've made. I heard somebody say that, and it resonates with me. I don't remember who. It might have been the director of the Mankind Project. But anyway, this has been a great way for me to leave the nest, so to speak, and just have this part of my journey where I leave the familiar behind to a great extent and kind of embark on this new quest type thing. Because what I find is that before I left, if you'd asked me, Josh, what do you think of your life? I would have said, in every category, it's really awesome. Working on a cruise ship wasn't an escape at all. I think it is for some people. Actually, I know it is based on them saying those exact words. But for me, this wasn't about escaping. It was about continuing to grow in the same life path that I've been embarking on consciously for the last couple of years. So, what I find now is that not necessarily that like coming here made my life better. In a lot of ways, I would even say that it made it worse. For example, it's really important to me to eat a healthy diet, and here I can't eat as healthy of a diet as I do at home. Or another example is it's really important for me to have friends who can communicate really consciously with me. And I have trouble with that here, much more so than I do in California. Yet another example. At home, I really only play music that I really like. Solo shows, Un Deux Trois, the rockabilly band I was subbing with. I don't really take gigs unless I really want to play the music. So I got here, and now I'm playing almost exclusively music that I don't like that much. So at this point in this discussion, that all sounds kind of crappy, I guess. Because I had all this stuff in my life that was the way I wanted it, and then now I get here and it's different and it's not the way I want it. But I actually have a lot of appreciation for that, because I think a really great way to love what you love even more is to not have it and to like see other stuff, and not to see other stuff with the intention of not liking it, but for me to go to the Mediterranean and see a bunch of crazy places and see what they're like, and from that place to choose, I want to go back and live in California. I'm able to make a more educated decision about where I want to live, for example. Or after playing music on the cruise ship that's, none of it's stuff that I would choose, besides my solo stuff, obviously. When I get home, having had that experience, I'm not just playing what I play out of default, because this is what I've always played. It's like, I choose to play this. Something else that's been on my mind lately is that this is much more like a job than anything I've ever done before. I'm really a self-employed man at heart, and so first of all, when I first got on the ship, I was really fussy about working for a corporation, all the like trainings I had to do and the drills I had to attend and stuff, and I'm kind of over that now. Kind of over it. But I find something that's still a big issue is what I actually play. I love working every day. That's something that I would do whether I'm self-employed or not self-employed. Other employed, I guess, is the term. But the music we play here is just not what I'm looking for in my life right now. I actually gained some clarity on this yesterday when I was talking to the trumpet player. We were walking out in Monte Carlo at the casino wearing our suits, looking good. And I was saying to him, and as I was saying it to him, I was kind of hearing it for the first time too, that I'm really looking for music right now that touches my heart. And as opposed to, I think, two other options, which are music that I'm intellectually interested in up here. Um, like, for me, that's like Avishai Cohen or Chick Corea or something right now. That really just hits me up here. Which is not to say that that's fundamental to that music, but that's my experience of it. And on the opposite end of the spectrum is music that like resonates with like my pelvis, basically. Like when we do disco shows, that's the place from which I enjoy that. It's just like rocking out um, with that really physical energy. And both of those things are cool, and they're not things that I want to disassociate from. But the stuff that really drives me right now, the stuff that I write, and the stuff I want to play is stuff that I feel here. You can't see that here. This general area, like stuff that gives me that heart-y feeling. I'm sorry I don't have better signifiers for that feeling experience, but that's the experience I have when I listen to like a good indie rock band like Grizzly Bear or God, there's so many indie rock bands I like and I can't think of any of them. Grizzly Bear, Muse, I don't know if you'd call them indie rock, but that kind of stuff really pulls me right now. Not necessarily just the rock, but just there's some element there that really hits my heart, and that's what I'm stoked on. Um, so the conflict I find is that we don't play indie rock here. And not only do we not play indie rock, but that element, which I'll tentatively call indiness or just indie, is just not present on a cruise ship. That artsy quality of like exploration in creativity is not present in this corporate environment. Not to say that's not present in some of my bandmates or in sometimes in the music we do play, but it's not like an overriding intention of Regent Seven Seas to create music that touches people's hearts and is open to what's present in the moment. That's my bag. It's not Regent's bag. So I guess how I would externalize this to hopefully make it useful for another person, besides to just sit fascinated listening to what my experience is like, is especially if you're thinking of taking a cruise ship job, think about what kind of music you really want to be playing and if you'll be playing it here. My experience is definitely unique. For example, when I was talking to my trumpet player about this, he's much more satisfied with the music we play than I am, because he's just looking for a different experience than I am. So I'm not saying don't play on cruise ships at all, because a lot of people do this for decades. I'm definitely not going to be one of them, because it's just not my scene in so many ways. But really be clear, because to me, being a musician is not just about playing, it's about what you're playing. And if you're not playing the right stuff for where you are in your journey, it's not going to be as enjoyable as it could. So that's something to consider. In my other videos, I think I've pretty well outlined the different types of music you might expect to play on a cruise ship. And you'll notice that there's a lot of stuff there, but there's definitely a lot of stuff missing. And it's not just about genre, but it's also about like the spirit with which the music is played, and And I find that they're much more geared to entertain here than they are to prioritize making art, which is a distinction that's not totally clear in my mind. Not to say that art can't be entertaining or that entertainment can't be artful, but to me, the difference is what you prioritize. And for me, art is the priority, and entertainment is great. And for Regent, entertainment is a priority, and art, take it or leave it, it seems.